you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing today?
Very well. Well, it's time for my coffee and I think for your tea, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's always fun to speak to people across the world.
Well, I understand that, and I want to thank you for this opportunity. So,
thank you very much for joining me, Denida Zinxhiria. I'm so excited to have you here on the show with us. I mean, I was looking at what you've done and your background, and it's really is quite incredible and quite unique. Can you tell me? I mean, I'm very inspired by this this company that you've set up, this Nannyguards. It's truly incredible. So, if you don't mind, first thing I'd really like you to just explain it to me in your own words.
Well, I entered the industry as a close protection operative bodyguard in 2002, and I have been working mostly with children. So I saw that those children, most of the times, of course, they had nannies with them, and there was a huge gap of knowledge and understanding the process when it comes down to security. As we all know, the security team is staying outside the client's estate, so we don't have no eyes or ears inside the house, what's happening in case of an emergency. So the nanny, however, it's the one who is closer to the child, always with the child, no matter where. So I thought, how about we train the nannies in security so they can act also as the children's bodyguards when we are not in close range. Or there are many families who don't even have a security team. And give the parents a peace of mind, knowing that the child is not only fed and educated and taken care of, but also it's safe, because the person that is assigned to take care of the child is also aware of whatever has to do with security and safety. So that's how we came up with Nannyguards. And it has been really challenging sometimes to make people understand the need, but once they see it in practice, they understand that, oh, there is a need for this. So we had many nannies joining our classes, and we had many bodyguards who wanted to go a little bit transitioning, let's say, from the other side of childcare and work with children.
I mean, I can certainly see the need straight away. I mean, over the years, I've worked with, as you can imagine, a lot of nannies and a lot of CPOs, a lot of bodyguards, etc. And I mean, it's just logical because the nanny is physically close to the children and trusted by the children, so they will do, you know, what they say, unlike the bodyguard that they might feel are a bit scary or whatever. I mean, I see, and I'm looking at sort of like things you've done, and I see you're obviously incredibly intelligent. You've got a degree in psychology and all these other things. So you're bringing a sort of level to this security that maybe doesn't exist everywhere.
I was just trying to bring something that will make the families feel better, comfortable, and the children, as you said, the children feel better when they have the nanny next to them instead of a huge gorilla-looking guy. It's hard for the child to trust you. They do not understand why there is a security next to them. So some of them will react badly. So you need a person that they will see and trust and will listen when there is a moment that they should listen to directions and
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I mean, that seems like, both as someone, you know, in the industry and as a father, I mean, it's a great idea. And actually, the thing is, it's not so much that it's amazing that that you thought of doing this. It's more amazing that this isn't what everyone does. So well done. I mean, that's the beauty. Come up with a simple concept that no one else has thought of.
Thank you.
You know, so my next question was going to be, and you've kind of already answered it, to be honest, but it was, you know, what inspired you to start this company?
Well, my work with children, and I have no kids, so I didn't knew how at the beginning. I didn't know how to work with children. It was a little bit. It was hard for me as well. But working with them, and I get to see what the challenges are, both for the person who is assigned to work with the child, but also for the child itself. As I said, the children do not understand why you are there. They think that you're spying on behalf of the parents. So they're going to test you. They're going to test your patient a lot. They will react to you a lot. So you have to find a balance between a game, let's play a game, but also let's keep you safe while we're doing that.
Yeah, no, that seems very logical. So, what do you think about household staff in general being trained in security? Do you think that's an important thing?
My personal belief is that anyone who is involved with a specific clientele, they have to be aware and they have to be trained in very basic safety and security measures. Because the people that we work with, most of the public, they don't know that they are millionaires and billionaires out there, that they do not have security teams with them. However, they have personal assistants, they have butlers, they have drivers, they have nannies, they have housekeepers, people that are interacting with them every day. But those people have also their own lives. So we have to make sure that whatever you're doing is not compromising your client's safety. And it doesn't have to be something that will harm him physically, but anything that will harm his reputation, or will give to specific individuals access to information that can be used against your client.
Yeah, so basically, if they've all got at least some knowledge, that reduces the danger all around.
Exactly. We don't want the PA to act as a bodyguard, but we want them to understand what can be a threat to your client and to yourself as well. Basically, doing your work as a butler, or doing your work as a PA or as a nanny, having in mind and putting first the safety of your client. When you book a hotel, when you make a reservation, where is the hotel located? Where is the room in the building located? Things, very simple things, that it's not only good for your client, but it's going to be good for you and your own safety as well.
Yeah, I mean, just simple things really, but like you say, it's important to have them pointed out, because if someone doesn't have that sort of security mindset, they wouldn't realize.
Exactly. It's very simple. If you sit down and hear about it, it's things that you know them, and you're going to say, yeah, yeah, that's logical. But somebody has to tell you, basically.
Yeah, very true. I mean, you've been in this industry a long time. So is it 18 years? Is that right?
18 years. I started very young. I've done many mistakes.
Well, that's how you learn.
That's how you learn. So now I tell people, don't do that, because I have done that and it didn't have a good outcome.
So you just mentioned your mistakes, but what's been your greatest achievement?
I think the relationship that you're building with the clients, with those children particularly, and the fact that I haven't lost a client yet, I think that's an achievement. Yes, and you feel like kind of successful when you have clients reaching out to you and bringing more clientele because they saw something and they were happy with your services that you provided, when they see the difference in the services.
Yeah, I mean, they must see. I mean, that sort of makes me think of the difference in the services, and that makes me just think of another thing that was one of my questions there. So, I think we all know that bodyguarding and stuff in general is a very male-dominated society. I don't think anyone's going to argue with me when I say that. So, being a lady in this industry, is it an advantage, a disadvantage? How's that work for you?
I believe that it's just another industry. I have seen that there are some people that they're going to be kind of hesitating working with you because you are a woman, and you cannot change their mind whatever you do. And I believe it's not personal. It's just have someone see the industry and how someone see the life in general and what the females can do and cannot do. I don't believe that your gender can make you better professional in a specific position. I just can be there. It's easier for me as a female to be next to a female client because I can go with her in places that a male colleague cannot. It's easier for me as a female to work with teenagers or with their children, with clients' children. So I don't argue with people that have a different opinion. I work with a specific client. If the client believes that I am capable to be there, I will be there. And I know that I am capable of being there. But I haven't seen many people having that kind of view. The industry is changing in a good way. And I see more and more women in the business, which makes me happy because there is a huge need. There is a huge need for females in the business. And there is a huge, as well, we can say it's difficult to find professional and well-trained women to place them with the clients.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, we have exactly the same thing within butlering. I mean, it's sort of, I mean, butlering probably even more male dominated than security, believe it or not. And I'm always trying to attract ladies to come and work in the industry and work for me, because just like in just the same way, there's a huge demand. There's a lot of people that would rather have a female butler. But I mean, I don't know if you agree, but what I think sometimes happens is an industry gets a reputation for being a specific gender, and then it seems quite difficult to shrug that off.
I agree with you. But there always have to be the first ones who are, making the first steps and opening the way for the others. It's very interesting. I have many nannies that are entering our classes, and they are saying the same. They are trying to enter a female-dominated world industry. But there are some clients that they would prefer a man as a nanny instead of a nanny. So it's always how much you want to be in this position, in this profession, how willing you are to work toward it and improve yourself and add skill set on that. But I do believe that for you, female butlers, there is also a clientele, a specific clientele that has to do with specific culture and a religion that will require a female to be closer to that client and not a man. So I always see there is a need. You just have to find the right people.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And I think that's what it's really about, isn't it? About both our industries. It's not about, like you say, not about male or female. It's about the right person in the right post.
Exactly, the right person with not only with the background and expertise and training, but also with the right attitude. There are some people that you see they have an excellent CV, but if you place them with a corporate client, they are very toxic. Their behavior is very toxic. They cannot operate in that kind of the world. So it's not always the expertise or the training or the experience. It's also the attitude as well.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. So, you're talking about different cultures and stuff. Now, you're very international, aren't you? You do this all around the world.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, where do you go to? Do you go anywhere? Or?
I have been working a lot with Middle Eastern and Asian clients, because those are the clients that understand that you have to place a female due to their culture and due to their religion. And they are more open to female bodyguards than other clients, I would say. Sometimes it's challenging until you get your foot on the door and you try to understand the culture. You really have to understand the culture and respect it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people fall down when they go to other cultures and try and sort of impose their ideas upon those cultures, even though they're working. And I think you're doomed to failure if you do that, aren't you?
That's very, very true. And I have done that mistake before. It's when you don't know and when you're trying to tell someone who is not aware with what you're doing or where you're coming from, to do things as you're thinking it's right for them, and they're going to resist at the beginning. I'm going to give you an example. I was hired to work in India, and the child, who was 4 years old, the child had never used a seatbelt before in the car. So it's one of the most simple, basic rules. And I had to work a lot with the child, but also with the child's parents to understand that the child must wear a seatbelt. They didn't see at the beginning, they didn't see it as something important, but for me, it was important. So sometimes you just have to battle a little bit around. But at the end, it's just what the clients want. So.
Yeah. I mean, something like that's so hard, isn't it? Because I can just imagine at the end of the day, they're paying you to keep their child safe. And you're like, well, the first thing we can do is put a seatbelt on.
Exactly. And the child has never been restricted in that kind of way, because she was seeing it as a way as a restriction. So I had to come with a game. Okay, so I'm going to put my seatbelt. You're going to put your seatbelt. Let's see who's going to put the seatbelt first. So just make it like kind of a game. But they will not always listen to you. So you have to always find a way to do your job with whatever you're given.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's very true for most industries. I think as everyone can relate to that, to be honest. That's exactly what it's about. Make the most of what you can. So there's quite a few strings to your bow, isn't there? You're not, you also done like private investigating work and all sorts of things, haven't you?
Yes. Well, it's how we see ourselves is when you are in this business, even this business, when you are a close protection operative, a bodyguard, and when I use the term bodyguard, it's most commonly used by people, not the professional term, however, you have to have a full understanding of anything that involves security. Sometimes you need to know a little bit of investigation, how to be a private investigator, how to do a surveillance, because there may be something or someone that you need to search and see that person is kind of a threat for my client. Let's find out who he is. So I believe that whatever I have done has helped me to be here today and to be able to provide better services to the client.
I mean, it's a very exciting job, isn't it? I'll be honest. I'll tell you a secret. When I was young, my dream was to be like a bodyguard / personal investigator. I'd watched a lot of Rockford Files and the A-Team and stuff like that, and that was my ultimate dream. And at the time, I didn't really realize it was a genuine job. I only realized much too late.
Actually, it's never late because you already have the mindset.
Yeah, well, I never know. Might start retraining. So what is it that you enjoy the most about your job?
I would say that it's each client, it's a different case that you have to look after. And it has its own challenges. So for me, it's just my job. I love being able to meet new people, traveling, see different cultures, do things that I wouldn't have done as an individual. Like a child will tell you, oh, I want to ride an elephant. You have to ride the elephant with the child. So things that I would have never done on my free time or when I'm on my own personal traveling. And the interaction with the children and with those teenagers, you feel that you're doing something good for them.
So do you get out of your bed every day sort of excited to be here for another day?
Most of the times. Not always, I would say, most of the times.
Well, as long as it's more often than the days that you like don't want to do it. So.
Yeah, because there are times and there are clients just like, okay, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I think that's all of us.
Yes.
As long as they're mostly good.
Makes me feel better now.
So what future plans do you have? You've already achieved a lot, but what do you have in mind for the future?
I would like to retire from from being on the field, I would say. I believe that it comes a time that you have to do something else. I believe that I have nothing else to give when it comes down to being on the field, being operational. So I would love to sit down and manage teams, more into the administration part of the business, consulting, teaching, but I have been doing, but not, full time. So I'm onto that now, like making new classes, designing new courses.
Yeah, just take it to the next level, really.
I believe we have to evolve. I believe that there is a time for everything. And I believe that being 18 years in the field, I don't want to do it anymore. I want to do something different. I want to offer in a different way to the industry.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's something, I can certainly relate to that. that's exactly why I sort of got into the butler school, because even though I do still love and enjoy being a butler, it's really something to be able to train the next generation of people to do that job. You know, you're obviously an expert in what you do, so it's great to be able to pass that on to other people.
I don't consider myself as an expert. I just have been on the field for a long time, and as I said, I have done many mistakes. And I feel sad when I see some of the new generation being misled by the media and social platforms, and thinking that, you know, being a bodyguard means a specific thing, which doesn't mean that at all. You're just basically taking care of an individual, and you have to deal with that individual's tantrums as well in daily life. So I just want to sit down and help them understand this is the real world. This is what you're going to deal with. It's not about you. It's not about your traveling. It's not about your lifestyle changing because of your client. It's about the client.
Mm. So you caught me in the middle of a glass of water. Yeah, no, you're totally right. You've got to be just so adaptable, don't you?
The industry, I believe that the industry is really overcrowded. Sometimes it's misrepresented. We have colleagues that unfortunately they don't understand when you have to keep things low, and they're posting selfies with the clients, they're posting selfies from their station, so you get to see many information behind the picture that you can find if you want to, where he's located at the moment, and who the client is, or to whom that jet belongs to. So I just want to teach the new generation that you have to be the silent professional.
Mm. Yeah, I'm guessing that sort of integrity and the sort of secrecy must be a big part of what you do.
Confidentiality is a big part in our industry, and I'm sure that you have seen and you have read all the articles about an ex-bodyguard claiming that his specific client was rude or not friendly, and they're basically exposing the clients in public in a very bad way. You cannot do that.
Yeah, because you're being paid to protect them, so
exactly,
what they're doing is the opposite.
They're not your friend. They don't need to be friendly to you. They don't need to care about your day. I'm sorry, but not everyone actually needs to care about your day. So those people feel hurt, and they actually feel hurt that the client didn't laugh with their jokes. So I see all this, and it makes me wonder that what they're missing. They have a great CV. Those people have a great CV. They have the experience. They have the training. So what's that? It's the human thing that you cannot,
Yeah, you need to, like you say, you need to be a professional, don't you? It's the same. It's the same with my industry. You're not there to be friends with them. That's what their friends are for.
Of course.
You are a professional who's paid to do a job.
And you are there, and you are seeing things, you are listening things. You cannot just pass that, write a book or pass that to the media just for your publicity.
Yeah, no, it's often something that's difficult to explain to people, but you're totally right. You have to be very, very careful about what you can say.
But I always believe that you can always train people, but you cannot teach them the mindset and the being ethical and being professional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Some people would naturally be in a state of not talk about people, and some people are naturally in a state of gossiping, aren't they? So,
and you know how to keep those people away from you and from your client.
Yeah, very true. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us about your industry and how you work?
Oh, well, I would say that I would love to see to have this mutual understanding and cooperation between our colleagues, like the bodyguards, and your colleagues. Sometimes I see that there is this understanding. You can see someone from the house coming out and say, "Hey, would you like a cup of water?" would you like a cup of coffee? Because they know that you have been outside the house waiting for many hours. So you see, oh, there's another human being who's actually thinking about me. And there are moments that the people that are next to the client, like the household personnel or the PA, they think that they are basically threatened by your position. And they won't share things with you, share things that have to do with daily operations. Like I would like to know from the PA, where are we going in the next hour? Because I need to plan in advance. And sometimes there isn't there isn't the understanding, there isn't the cooperation, but sometimes is. And I really think that we have to work together because we have one client. We're working towards that one client.
Yeah, no, you're totally right, and I 100% agree with you. And over the years, I've made a lot of really good friends who have been CPOs and things like that. Because, like you say, you end up sitting there for hours waiting for your client while they're at dinner or whatever, and you're just chatting to each other, having cups of tea, that sort of thing. Of course, I'd say literally the same as you from the other side, because quite often you have some, CPOs that don't really think that the sort of, should we say, the other household staff are anything but in their way, So
Yes, I have seen that. You're totally right. I have seen that, and I believe that it has to be a mutual understanding and mutual respect. I respect your work, but I also would like to be respected. So each one of us has different functions, but at the end is one goal: just keep the client happy and safe, and let him have peace of mind. Let's solve his problems, those that we can solve actually in his daily life.
Oh, you're spot on. I mean, that's what we're there for at the end of the day, isn't it? That's why we get a paycheck, is to make people's lives better, not to add our neuroses and worries on top of theirs.
Yes, I mean, I have seen, it's really funny that you say that, because I have seen colleagues, CPOs, going to the client and blaming the nanny, blaming the chauffeur, blaming the cook. The client doesn't have to deal with that. That's drama. If you can't solve it between you two, just leave it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had this same conversation so many times with people. Yeah, and like, why are you bringing this to the client? They don't care. Don't talk to them about that. If you're having a bad day, that's your problem. If you're having some argument with the whatever, then that's you two's problem. Don't
exactly.
try and make it the person paying you's problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell from the stuff you're saying that you're very passionate about the job, and you obviously know the industry, and you know exactly the right things to do. I'm very impressed with that.
Not always. I'm still trying to learn.
Well, but I tell you what. If you'd said you weren't still trying to learn, I'd know you weren't very good. Because anyone who says they've nothing to learn, they can't be good at the job, can they?
I just try to improve myself. I always make time and have a specific budget that goes to training every few months. New things. You may go to a class and you may learn like 5% new information. That's enough for me. You learn new things. You learn new people. You just have to evolve in the industry.
Well, that's it. It's evolve or die, as
exactly.
So what if I have to make sure that people watching this know how to get into contact with you if they'd like to. What would be their best way to do so?
Well, they can reach us to our website. We have athenaworldwide.com regarding the trainings we do with female bodyguards, the security related trainings. And we have nannyguards.com regarding the training for nannies. We also train household personnel. We have a specific design training for personal assistants, those that work with specific clientele. So whoever would like to know more about our trainings, they can always reach out to us. We are always open for people who have questions, people that are new to the business. You don't have to come to our trainings. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. That's what I'd always tell to people. I may not be replying to you immediately, but I will always try to reply to you at some point. I may not have the best answer to you or have the job for you, but I will try and guide you. So whoever has information, whoever has specific questions, excuse me, and needs information, they can always reach out to us, and we will try and help them.
Oh, I mean, that's great to hear. That's something that means so much to me, that people will happily share their wisdom. And Athena, that's the goddess of wisdom, isn't it? That's
one of the reasons that I choose Athena, is because I was born in Albania actually, but I was raised in Greece, and I was always passionate with Greek mythology. And Athena for me was the goddess of wisdom. She was the one representing that you can win a war not by using raw force, but by using intelligence. So that's what Athena can represent: female bodyguards, female security operatives, that I can use intelligence to protect you. I don't have to use only my physical appearance.
Well, I mean, what a great place to end the interview. I mean, you're not going to better that as a statement. That is absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for talking to me and taking the time to come and talk to me. It's been a great pleasure.
It was a pleasure for me as well. I would like to thank you for your time. I'm always interested in your industry as well, because as I said, this is a teamwork. So anyone who is viewing your podcast is free to contact us, and we will try to help as much as we can and give them some answers.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. I reckon they'll be really pleased to hear that, and I have no doubt they'll be contacting you. So thank you so much indeed. It really was my pleasure, Danny. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure too.
And please do stay in contact for the future.
I will definitely stay in contact.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me there. I mean, I really enjoyed that interview with Danny there, and I'm sure you all did as well. She's obviously really knows, she's very modest, as you can see, but she obviously really knows what she's doing. And as a butler, security is incredibly important. So thank all of you so much for joining me. Please remember to subscribe, because we've got a lot more videos to come, and there's a lot more on the database of videos there. I think we're up to sort of like 70 or 80 videos on the Rosse Bespoke channel now. So thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon. It's been me, Simeon Rosse, saying bye-bye.